All right, we're about to get started here, and there again, I don't take credit for this knot. This first knot, we're going to tie fluorocarbon knot, and I realize there's nail clippers laying there. It's kind of a mark for my camera, but anyway, you see, this is a frog hook. I do change out frog hooks, and that's for another episode. But here's what we're going to try to do. And I'm going to try to do this in close quarters, which may be difficult to do. But we're gonna bring the fluorocarbon through, or I do. You can also double it and put it through, and you could with this frog hook, but a lot of these times you're tying this fluorocarbon, you can't do that. And I'm gonna bring it back through, and when I bring it back through, a lot of times you'll get confused about which end to pull. I'm gonna pull me out a pretty good bit of slack here, and you fluorocarbon guys, I know you're kind of cringing here. Fluorocarbon is very expensive, and you hate to overuse it, but to tie the knot, I mean, it's better that you spend a little more money anyway, and than to tie a faulty knot. But we've got it just doubled in through there. You see it sliding around good. You do want to make sure that your lines are not crossed in there, and that's all you do is peel that back, and you can see that right there. So it's not crossed. You see what we got right here. Now we're left with a pretty good bit of slack. The hook will, slide through, slide good like that. You see, we don't have lines crossed. You can see that. With this kind of hook right here, you can actually take your pinky and help that out. I'm gonna come around. I'm gonna draw that loop right there. I'm gonna take that loop right over my finger. Okay, you can see what I got right there, what I'm holding. And then I'm gonna go over 1, 2, 3. When I come back around on 3. Right there's that original loop I was holding. You see it right there. And I just kind of slide my finger back to where I get my fingertip on it, okay? And kind of help it through, but I'm gonna feed it through that loop I was holding. Kind of interesting to do this when you can't move it around much. But I've just pulled that loop through. I mean, I've pulled that tag in, that double tag in through. And from here, here's where I wet the knot. And I wet it good right there, and here's a key to it. All right, you can see right there I've got the single tag and then that loop tag for a total of 3 tag ends. You want to make sure that you grab the single tag and the main line, and you're going to start working that knot through, okay? And now you see I put my fingers in front of it a little bit right here. You're going to eventually start what I call wadding it up, but it's not. You're gonna come in there, and then when it starts getting to turn into a knot, this is not actually a knot, it's a cinch. And I'm gonna get the single line when I get it down there, and you'll hear it or feel it kind of slide in. I don't know if you hear that or not. You'll feel it. Now that knot right there is seated. Here's how you'll know if you've got it tied right. You can take that loop right there, and you see I backed that thing out. When that thing will back out like that, when you're just fooling with it at home like I am tonight, you've got it tied correctly. We'll cinch it back down, here, and be careful don't put what I call the donkey arm on it. You ain't gotta stretch it in there tight. Just snug it good. There again, it's a cinch more so than it is a knot. And right there, you're left with those tag ends right there. You come in here then, and you cut that, and right there's what you're left with. I'm telling you what, since I've been tying that right there, and this is for Gerald Swindle right here. See how close you can cut that. Those of you who've seen his video on knots know what I'm talking about. That's a good, strong, solid knot right there that's got it's double lined in the hook eye. And that's the key with the fluorocarbon. The more having that double, kind of like the Palomar knot, this is the deal behind it. Same thing here, you got the double line. But there again, I'm not really sure what that's called. I know there's some different theories and names, and there's probably a name for it, but that's my main fluorocarbon knot. All right, we're gonna tie this final knot here, and This is the swindle knot, the one that he ties. There again, we're going to start on this like we do all of them, with a double pass through here. And you know, same as the others. We'll pull up enough line to work with. There again, fluorocarbon's expensive, I know, but if we can go the trouble of tying on a good bait with expensive line, then we got to go the trouble of checking everything out here, and go the trouble of getting us enough room to work. All right, so I've got the clearance I need. I mean, it'll separate, so we're nowhere in good shape there. I'm gonna take this, hold it up right there. Again, I've just got the loop in my fingertips. I've got the main line and the tag line in these 3 fingers down here, and I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna go around 5 times. Now I'm gonna take this line I've got right here, and sometimes you have to hold that like that, and I'm gonna put it through, back through that loop that I've made right down here. Now from right there, what you have is a cinch knot, okay, and a clinch knot. And if you're going to throw a moving bait, that is not a bad deal right there, because those 2 tag ends, if you tighten it up right there and cut it off, they would be aimed away from the grass or whatever, and not as apt to snag up. You know, if you got a Texas rig or something like that, where you got a sinker over it anyway, it don't matter. But if you just want the cinch knot, that is it. Now we're going to make it an improved. This is the knot there again I grew up tying when I was a kid with a single line. And I'm going to make it improved, you bring it back through that original loop right there and grab it. And then from there, I mean, that's where you're going to wet it. And you know, from there we're just going to kind of clinch it down, cinch it down. And you know, I can't stress enough, when you get to this point right here, don't ruin your knot by trying to over exaggerate that. Just tighten it up. Just pull it snug. If you'll snug it, I mean, you'll be fine. There's absolutely zero need in trying to see how much pressure you can put on that. I mean, I weigh 190, 195 pounds. I mean, I can put enough pressure on it to burn it, because keep in mind, fluorocarbon has little to no stretch. They advertise it as none, but not always the case. You know, then I'm gonna cut these tag ends right here, and there again, this is a very good knot. It is. These frog hooks are sticky. Good night. If I could hook and get them to hook fish like that. And I'm gonna cut those 2 tag ends, those 3 tag ends right there. Right there's what you're left with. Good solid knot. So that's a few knots to pick from, and maybe you can find one that you like.